Yep, they can hear me. Okay, here we go.
Wow, there's people out there, Patty?
There's people out there.
Those aren't your AI friends?
No, I don't have any friends. People don't like me.
You have a friend in me, Patty.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone in this room is Patty's.
You're going to be my friend in a minute because I'm about to take my shoes off. It's too hot for me in here.
You know, for someone in our business, Patty has really become a major celebrity. It's quite awesome. Welcome, everybody. Listen, if you haven't gotten lunch, we have some great lunch. I went out and picked up Papa John's pizza for everybody today myself. My car is airing out in the parking lot. That's why the windows are down. Housekeeping items. Anybody needs restrooms? We have men's across the way. It's a very old building. We make women walk down halfway down the back stairs for that one. And then there's two unisex ones in front. Should anybody need a restroom? I'm Dan Upelson. If you don't know me, I am the Chief Executive Director, the Apartment Association of Greater LA. I've been doing this now for 8 years. I can't believe it. Hopefully not too many more to go before I decide to retire, but we'll see about that. Just want to update you on a couple of items that we are working on. You know, I want to encourage everybody who's attended some of our webinars before. It's great. There's one in particular I really want to encourage everybody to try to join once in a while. We call it our Inside Track. And great thing about this webinar is I'm not involved with it, but our head of government affairs hosts this webinar once a month towards the end of each month. And what she does is she goes over all the issues that we've been addressing locally. And also some of the new regulations that got passed. If you attended, you may have heard about some new anti-harassment rules that went into place in Oxnard, some new rent stabilization and tenant protection ordinance that went into place in Pomona, various other things. I mean, it's really a good way what's happening out there. We may be covering areas of Southern California that don't apply to you because you don't own apartments in that area, but you know, invariably what goes around comes around, and we often see that regulations that get passed in cities like Los Angeles or Santa Monica or West Hollywood end up finding their way into other jurisdictions where you may actually own some property. So try to tune into that. It's called the Inside Track. I highly recommend it. Basically, she's giving out the information that I know because I talk to her all the time, and also that we brief our board of directors. And that's another thing. If you guys are interested, about once a month, 10 times a year, we have board of directors meetings. They're open to members. You're welcome to come. We talk about a lot of legal issues that we're dealing with, lawsuits that are being filed on behalf of property owners. We also get into state issues that we're dealing with, and also our local government affairs. They happen right here in this room, and we serve lunch. So if you'd like to come, we appreciate you letting us know so we know they have enough food to feed everybody. But it's also a good way for us to encourage members to get involved. We look for members who are interested in being involved in one of our board of directors, one of our committees, or in our political action. We raised a lot of money. A couple of the things we're dealing with, in case you haven't heard, is we are dealing with the County of Los Angeles that wants to impose a maximum air temperature threshold. They're looking at maximum inside air temperature somewhere between 82 degrees and 86 degrees. If it's at 82 degrees, the only way to cool a room down to that level is with air conditioning. And of course, tenant groups are pushing for central air, but hopefully we'll be able to settle if it does settle and not get knocked it out. Hopefully we'll settle on a window unit in one of the rooms. You just don't know. We're pushing for smart coolers. The next thing, if we have to install air conditioning, our tenants' electricity bills will be going up, and I'm sure the county will want us to help cover that additional electricity. It doesn't stop, and it's hard not for me to be sarcastic. The county is looking for input from residents and property owners about making it mandatory to accept at least one pet in rental housing. The county shelters are being overrun with too many pets. I know a lot of people maybe acquired a pet during COVID to have a companion while they're working from home. Apparently have been giving up some of those pets, and so the county is looking for ways to offload some of these animals onto rental property owners. And then just the other day, the county has extended its state of emergency for the wildfires. So that means these anti-price gouging rules remain in place where you're restricted from increasing your pricing by more than 10% from where it was prior to the wildfires. So just be aware of that. There's a lot of exceptions to that. And if you do have questions about that, I encourage you to seek legal advice on that because it is kind of complicated. And then on the state level, there's a whole host of bills that are working their way through the second house. They were initiated in the assembly, they're now in the Senate. And they were initiated in the Senate, they're now in the assembly. However, fortunately, our state legislators are on recess now until August 18th. They get a month break over the summer. Why should they work that hard for their pensions and salaries? But there's a couple of bills I just wanted to note that are working their way through. We're trying to work with the authors to modify these to make them less punitive. One would require that you provide ovens and refrigerators into rental units. Unless your tenant, may have to be a gourmet cook and they want to bring their own oven or refrigerator. Otherwise, that will be mandated. It'll be a habitability issue. And you'll be required to keep those in good working order. And you'll be required to respond to recalls that may be on those items. So just be aware of that. We've already gotten a number of amendments. It was a lot worse when it came out. But we'll keep working that bill. There's another bill that requires property owners to provide reasonable accommodations to any tenants that may be victims of domestic violence. So there's a couple that may be fighting and screaming, and someone is being used domestically. You can't discriminate against them, and if they ask you to move to an open unit, that's something that would be considered for reasonable accommodation. And the law did change. I think it was last year that if your tenant is a victim of domestic abuse, you could be required to change the locks with it. So you
And allow them to vacate within a 14-day period.
15 days. So anyway, that's all I wanted to brief you on. I'm just so pleased that Patti has come all the way from San Bernardino County to join us today. Very important topic. All these different notices. They're really complicated. There's a recent lawsuit that Patti will get into where basically a 3-day notice was knocked down because the landlord didn't indicate when the 3 days expired. Apparently their tenant can't count days. So more and more these deck is getting stacked against us. And so we are constantly changing our forms to make sure that we're in compliance. Question?
What are the chances we can get new legislators, county supervisors, or city?
Sheriff Bianco.
There are great chances for that, actually. We are putting together a coalition. We are about to hire some political consultants to pull different groups into a coalition and raise a bunch of money. And gear up for this next LA City Council election cycle and also some other local jurisdictions to try to unseat some of these declared socialists that we have. There's 5 of them out of 15 on the LA City Council. There's a group now that is formed in LA called Thrive LA, and they are putting together some significant backing. We hope to align with them as well. And they want to displace a number of the elected officials we have, put in people that are more balanced and more business. If you've been to San Francisco lately, my daughter lived there 5 years ago. It was a disaster there. Crime, homelessness, businesses were leaving. Things are starting to turn around there. Why? Because they put together a bunch of business groups that raised money. They elected 6 new city council members. They elected a bunch of new board of education members. They have a new mayor. They have a new district attorney like we have. And so things are starting to change there. So people are back in the offices. We have a chance to do that.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, sir.
But we call and we beg, said, help our candidates back, help our issues back, help our legal fund. And I get crickets. And so unless you, and look, I know everybody's strapped, all these regulations are very costly, but you can make the additional effort, help us out financially. Politics is an expensive game here in California. And the only way to win is to raise money. We missed electing Grace Yu over a Democratic Socialist last election cycle. We believe for $40,000, $50,000. Had we been able to raise that additional money, we would have had a balanced, business-minded Democrat in that seat instead of a Democratic Socialist. It's a disaster. And the tenant groups have out-organized us, out-fundraised us. A lot of their money comes from the government.
That's not going to.
But we have a chance, and there's a lot of businesses out there that want to see change. So we've been talking to some airlines, we've been talking to some McDonald's franchise operators, we've been talking to the realtors, we've been talking to a number of other business groups, and we're going to try to do this thing. And if we get one election in our favor, that's great. That's a start. We're just going to have to keep on doing it, until we win. Because LA can't continue to operate like this. Nobody's going to want to live here. We're certainly not going to want to invest in rental property here.
I have a question
Sure.
about the forms. Is there any way to call the form up, you start to type, and then you have to leave it, and then you got to come back and fill it all out again?
Well, you could right now, we want to replace our forms platform, and we're working on it.
It needs it.
But right now, you basically fill it out and you have to save it on the computer and go back to it. It's a PDF. You can save it.
But then you can't edit it.
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Yeah, you
As a
go back to
PDF,
it.
you can
You
edit.
could go back to it. It asks you if you want to save it filled out or not. And you save it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you can
thank you.
definitely do that. But our goal is to put together, go on to a new platform. Just been looking at this for the last 7 months. And what you do is you go and you fill out landlord names. So that will populate through all the forms that you've selected. Then, for extra money, you could have e-signature and all kinds of bells and whistles. But we want to be able to make the forms a lot easier to use. And so this has been something we've been looking for a long time. We've looked at a number of other solutions. In fact, we've implemented another solution, but we're not satisfied with it. We just found something that's really a perfect solution out of the Florida Association of Realtors. They've been doing this for a while. And so we hope to launch that. It's going to be a pretty sizable investment, but
And
it's our goal to
is
still
e-signature legal, really legal?
President Clinton passed a law many years ago that made e-signature. So,
But
it's,
if
totally
that's
legal.
not your signature, what do you do?
Well, you certify, you sign that it's you, and it's legal. But you have your option to not use e-signature as well. You can print out the form and have it signed. So I still do it.
Is there any way for the magazine or on the website to update us on the lawsuits? Because we interview, we watch the lawsuit, but then we never hear the results.
If you look on our legal fund site, that's about our latest update. We are still waiting for hearing dates on a lot of these things, and they move very slowly.
Can I explain something really quickly? An eviction calendar, we're all going to agree, does not run on an expedited calendar, meaning it's not fast. But by law, it's supposed to. Evictions are supposed to go much faster through the system. We can all agree outside of LA that an eviction takes about 3 to 5 months. Fair enough? Outside of LA, uncontested, 3 to 5 months. A civil case takes 3 to 5 years. See the difference? That's why we don't get so many updates on them. It's a much longer, lengthy process to get to trial and to argument and all that. It runs on a much slower calendar than we're accustomed to. That's all I'm trying to say.
But, it reminds me, there was one lawsuit that was recently filed this year that I probably haven't talked very much about. We've gotten together with a bunch of different groups, very large, national, publicly traded, property owner, business roundtable, and our organization. We are not named as plaintiff in the lawsuit, but 2 of our members are. And if you follow these constitutional challenges, there was one that had been in the court system for 4 or 5 years, filed by the New York property owners. And it was an amazing case, great complaint, really laid out all the issues, constitutional issues related to New York City rent control. And they have things that are worse than we have. They have vacancy control. So owners can't charge what they want for vacant units. So today there's over 100,000 vacant units in the city of New York because it doesn't pay to rehabilitate those units once the tenant has moved out after 4 years. Well, what happened with that case is the Supreme Court opted not to ultimately hear it. But 2 judges felt that it should have been heard. They gave basically a legal roadmap stating that we need to hear a case like this. Here's what we'd like to see in this challenge. And so we did a survey. I don't know if many of you saw it. We did a survey of our members saying, how are you impacted by COVID? How are you impacted by LA's rent stabilization ordinance? And various other questions. And we got hundreds of responses back. We were able to write 2 of our members' responses to be plaintiffs in this lawsuit. And we feel that their story, they're elderly people, they've lost tens of thousands of dollars due to rent freeze, due to COVID eviction moratoriums, basically following the pattern outlined by Justice Thomas in his dissenting view of why the Supreme Court should have taken up the New York case. Anyway, long story short, we think we have a decent shot of beating this case in front of the Supreme Court. It's going to take another 5 years, but we think we have a decent shot at it. And we've hired Washington, D.C. based attorneys to prosecute this. We have backing of well over 7 figures, and we're just going to keep pushing it. But our goal would be to knock out as much of the LA City rent stabilization ordinance as possible. And if we can do it to the city of LA, then we can do it to a number of other cities as well. So we're going to keep challenging it. We have another case outstanding where we're challenging this economic threshold that you have to meet outstanding rent before you can even serve a 3-day notice and start the eviction process. So that's another challenge. We're challenging the rent freeze that we had to endure for almost 4 years in the city of Los Angeles. We're going to try to get damages against the city of LA, declaring that it was illegal, and then it would be up to individual property owners, because we don't own rental property as an association. It'd be up to people like you to file a claim against the city of Los Angeles. So we're hopeful with that. Those last 2 cases are still on appeal. We fully expect when we file these cases to not get a good hearing in the district courts and lower courts. We don't have faith in the 9th Circuit. So it's our goal to rush these things through and try to get higher up in the appeals process and get things in front of California Supreme Court or the U.S. Supreme Court. And then our final case is with the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. They're our tenant in this building, and we are trying to overturn Measure ULA, which is the transfer tax that assesses anywhere 4% or 5.5%, depending on the gross value of your real estate sale. So we believe that's unconstitutional. We're on appeal with that as well. Again, district court wouldn't give us a fair hearing. So we are working that case as well. Spending hundreds of thousands of dollars just here alone on legal. But these are just some of the things we do for our members. So that's our sole purpose. Anyway, that's litigation update. Prompt me again next time. I'll give you more. So I didn't mean to take up too much Patty's time, but here's Patti Widget.
Hey, everybody, thank you. Just so you know, no legal advice will be given to you today because I'm a lot of things, but I am not an attorney. We're also live streaming, so I'm going to let people on live, so bear with me. You guys can't talk, but you can type in your questions and I can see you, just so you know. Okay, we're going to talk about notices today, and we're going to talk about a lot of things about notices, not just the notice itself. Like, I'm going to tell you all something you probably don't want to hear, but let's fire away, okay? In the event you need to serve a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit to your tenant, and you need to evict them, Those of us that have been managing property for a while know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we just need to serve a notice so they'll pay, right? If you need to evict them, my opinion to you and my advice is to hire the legal counsel that's going to represent you in court to serve the notice. The reason I say that is the laws are changing so rapidly, it's so hard for us to keep up, for me to keep up, for the apartment association to keep up. And a way that I can help protect you is if you hire legal representation to represent you at hello, it's their responsibility to make sure that notice is right, correct?
Yeah.
Ah, it's a way to pass the buck so you don't make a costly mistake. And with all the changes that are going on right now, if you want to serve it to get them to pay, yeehaw, go for it, okay? But if you're actually going to evict, have the attorney that's going to stand right next to you in eviction court and represent you serve the notice, okay? Take the responsibility and the liability off of you, okay? New law just came in effect. It's more bureaucracy and BS, what can I say? But it changed the way that we write a 3-day notice. Now we have to put what day the notice was served on the notice, what day the notice expires on the notice, okay? How much hand-holding do we have to do here, folks? In other words, all of this has to be correct. I can give you the best business practice and I will say it until I'm blue in the face. Create the notice and serve the notice on the same day. Bingo.
So is this on the website?
This is on the website.
Oh.
Absolutely. I'm just holding it in my hand because it's easier for me to talk to you in
Sure.
reference
Okay.
here than it is to turn around. In the city of Los Angeles, please pay attention. You'll be serving a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit, okay? Behind that, you will have a proof of service. Everybody got that? Behind that, you will have LAHD's tenants' rights. Got that? Behind that, you will have your certificate. You don't have all of this in the city of LA when you serve the 3-day notice. This is toilet paper and nothing else.
City of LA, what about County of Los Angeles? County.
County of Los Angeles runs a little bit different sometimes. You don't have to put your certificate with the
Yes.
county. You do now.
Yeah.
Okay, see how quick it changes?
County like Gardena, Torrance.
LA County, the whole county. Claremont,
Unincorporated.
unincorporated,
What
so
is the-
only
What
DCBA.
is the difference in incorporated and unincorporated? What is that?
Incorporated cities have their own police department. They have their own fire department. They have a city hall.
How about unincorporated? What's the other one?
They rely on the county. That's DCBA.
Which DCB stands for?
Department of Business and Consumer Affairs. It's who governs you. LARSO governs the city and DCBA governs the unincorporated county and LAHD governs everything else under the county's
So which is better,
Umbrella.
incorporated or unincorporated? Which is better to you? Unincorporated is better?
incorporated.
Is it better?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay, so incorporated is a Gardena, Carson, Torrance.
No, it goes by address, dear.
Um,
There's areas of Torrance that are covered by LARSO.
the Torrance PO. There's bad area.
You can call me, I'll tell you which property is under LA City.
Do you want to know the easiest way? Use stayhousedla.org. Okay? Stayhousedla.org. I am sending you to a tenant-based website, but don't you want to know what they know? I do. Yeah, everybody write stay, S-T-A-Y, housed, H-O-U-S-E-D, LA.org. You're gonna click on the eviction process, not all the got an eviction notice. Click on the black letters that say get eviction process, okay? And then scroll down. The background is white and it has all these questions on it, okay? When you get to the part that is green yellow, it says enter your address. Enter an address anywhere in LA County. It'll tell you exactly what governs that address, okay? Stayhousedla.org. I mean, don't we want to know what the tenants know? That's how they're finding it out. Easy peasy, right? That one was gold. All right, so lots of things on the notice. We have threshold rent now. Everybody familiar with threshold rent? LA City has something called threshold rent, and it says that you can't serve a 3-day notice until the tenant is delinquent over that threshold amount. So as an example, and don't quote me to this, like a 2-bedroom would be $2,222. I know it's not that way anymore. It's $2,625 for a 2-bedroom. That's threshold. What does that mean? It means that you can't serve a notice to pay rent or quit until they're delinquent more than that amount. Okay? Everybody see that? $2,600. Let's play a game. Let's say it's a 3-bedroom. I can't serve a 3-day notice until they're $3,336 delinquent. Yes, sir.
What happens if their rent is less than that?
That's what we're gonna talk about. That's what I'm on. Okay, so paying attention, 3-bedroom, and they owe $120. Why do they owe $120? Anybody? Maybe they have Section 8 housing. Okay, so they owe $120 a month to rent as their portion. When can I serve a notice to pay rent or quit?
That's 3,000.
Never, never. Who said never? Bingo! You know why it's never? Because you can only go back 12 months. And in 12 months, I'll never be over that amount. Okay? People ask me all the time, then what do we do to get Section 8 to pay? It sucks that you can call their worker and tell them they're not paying, and then they're going to cancel them off the program. What happens when they cancel them off the program? You no longer have to use the 30 Days CARES Act, and they owe you all the money because there's no Section 8 involved anymore.
Can I get the paper? Can we get the paper?
You can download them off the website. These are AGLIS forms.
What's the name of this paper?
That is your LA, hold on. There you go. Thank you, Mona. I'm glad we kept you around here. For anybody that's talked to Mona on the phone but haven't met her in person, we have Mona. And because I can't, and we have Diana in the back with her hand up going, hey, I'm back here, baby. Don't let Dan fool you. It's these ladies that brought lunch together, okay?
Patty, I wanted to interrupt you because I have your 6 winners.
You have my 6 winners? We have a raffle going today, and she's got 6 winners, so pass them out, baby.
So first one, Blanca. Yes. Oh.
Go pick what you want. You're up first, so you better hurry.
Blanca. Yes.
Isn't it neat putting a name with a face? All right, so I'm going to keep talking about the 3-day pay rent or quit just really briefly. You guys, there's a lot of new things on there that we have to deal with threshold rent, how many bedrooms there are, what day the notice was served, what day the notice expires. There's a lot of information on here. So in the event you are unfortunate enough to have to go through litigation in LA City in regards to this, please hire the attorney that's going to stand next to you and represent you to serve the notice. It's the best way that you can avoid any oopses. And I've done oopses myself, and nothing sucks worse than when your notice is bad and you have to start over. It just don't look good. And your owner standing next to you is like, really? You just don't want to do it. Put the liability and the responsibility on the attorney you're hiring to represent. Next winner.
Rick, Yamamoto.
Oh, happy spouse, happy house. You should just tell your wife, you go pick. Do it right from hello. Just send her over.
I don't know if you're gonna get the earring.
Might get one in your nose. You never know. We'll make your wife mad. Anybody have any questions about a 3-day pay rent or quit? Yes, I'll start with you. I'll come to you, darling.
Yes, if I serve the tenant today, for the 3 days.
Today doesn't count. Tomorrow's day 1. Hold on, we'll count it out. Friday is day 2, Monday is day 3, and on Tuesday you can file the eviction. Everybody got that?
So you don't
count weekends, we don't count holidays, and we don't count the day we serve the notice. Everybody got that? Okay, what's your question, darling?
What you mentioned about serving a certificate, but if we don't have RSO, what certificate do we
You don't have a certificate then.
Oh,
Only
it's not-
RSO, DCBA is the only ones with a certificate at this time. LAHD does not have a certificate. And nothing.
JCO
has a certificate, so we have.
JCO has no certificate, which is barred by your property.
Oh,
It's
JCO.
under JCO. No,
I don't know if you have to serve it, but they.
They do have a
They
form.
have a
Mona,
form.
they do.
the renter protection.
Yeah, but you don't have to serve it with the notice is what she's saying. Okay?
No, there is a notice with JCO.
For the JCO chip registration.
See what I mean about it?
That's right, yeah, I'm wrong. Yeah, JCO has registration too, you have to attach that.
Yeah.
That's right, because in fact.
Okay, so let's go backwards one more time now that we've all come to an agreement.
Probably not the worst idea to attach it anyway, because you're not gonna hurt yourself.
Okay, I don't want to throw you under the bus, so I'll keep my mouth shut, okay? But sometimes it takes a whole group of us to come up with the right answer. Does that make sense? That's why I keep telling you guys, when you're spending your own money to evict someone, hire legal counsel. Don't try to, in LA, do not try to figure this out on your own. In San Bernardino, Riverside, all day long. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Okay? But here it's just so tricky. Everything's so heavily litigated. And you got business professionals in this room all trying to figure out what the right answer is and go back and rewind their brain because the rules change so much. It's ridiculous. It's so hard to keep up with.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Don't get me going.
Next winner.
Next winter, that's okay. And then I'm going to switch to next notice. Just,
Arlene
Okay.
Bennett.
Arlene Vinnick, go get it, baby.
Does JCO exist in an incorporated city?
Yes.
So there's still a form for the incorporated city.
What's the JCO?
JCO is the Just Cause Ordinance.
They're the JCO form.
What is that?
Just cause means that you can only evict them for cause. It's not just cause you want to.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry. Huh?
What are those groups?
Owner move in, family member move in. They took away our major renovations. What else do we got? Court order. Those are reasons you can ask them to leave. Nothing else. It could be an eviction order. It could be an order from a divorce for you to sell that house. It could be an order from probate to sell the house. We don't know what the court order is, but if there's an order for them to get out, there's an order for them to get out.
Go to the city. You know, sometimes I pay people that's like, my next neighbor notified me, I heard them packing.
You heard them packing drugs?
My next door reported to me, my next door packing that, they hear packing it and
They hear them packing drugs.
I don't know, but they.
Drugs are legal. Welcome to California. Drugs are legal. Legal.
They're transporting it somewhere else.
Marijuana, legal in the state of California. Psychedelic mushrooms, legal in the state of California. Things that are illegal are crack, methamphetamines,
Those kind of
heroin, and cocaine.
And then they.
Schedule 1
And then
narcotics.
they prostitute, something like that, that long time ago, if it's not the rent country, just give notice, 30-day notice, 6 notice, but that's not available anymore.
It is still relevant in other counties. It's not relevant in LA.
In LA County?
Correct.
Torrance, is that possible to get rid of in 36-day notice?
No, you're in LA County.
So we cannot,
No, go to Upland, go to Riverside, get in San Bernardino.
then you could do over there.
I call LA the devil's cauldron.
Yes.
You see, thank you for laughing, because it's a cross between a devil and a witch, and when the wind blows, the rules change.
Okay, so you see tenant do prostitution, you send, see tenants are
Honey,
taking the drugs.
Tenants are doing prostitution because they gotta make a living. The government isn't doing anything about
If
it.
I want to get rid of them, long time ago, I
The
just.
government isn't doing anything about it. Drive down Figueroa and 105th.
How to get rid of those people.
Honey, it's out of our control.
So you gotta get the good tenant at the beginning, you gotta be.
Good luck. Let me tell you something. I am 54 years old and I'm looking for a husband. Wish me good luck. Understand? Okay? You gotta play your cards very carefully. You gotta follow the rules to a T. They have not made it easy for you to do business in the devil's cauldron. But you know what? In Claremont, you guys know Claremont? Oh, scary, it's LA. But you can just step over the border into Upland and now you're in San Bernardino County and you can give them a 30-day notice. I want my house back. Get out.
No reason needed.
Get out.
Not in Torrance, not in Gardena. You cannot do it.
Not in LA County. The whole county is corrupt. Yes.
Regarding major,
Renovation.
renovation, I thought that in LA, it can still do that.
No, they just.
That's in hold right
Nope,
now.
you
That's in
lost.
hold.
You're gonna lose it. Let's face it. Let me tell you guys what you're gonna lose so you're prepared. You're gonna lose late fees. You wanna know why? If I don't pay my mortgage on time, my bank charges me $35. Only my rent's $3,500 and I charge my tenants $350 as a late fee. Because it's a deterrent, right? But once I collect it, am I making a secret profit? Oh, I sure am. Oh, that's why they're arguing late fees. That's why your attorney's making you take your late fees off your ledger before you show up in court because they don't want the argument. Make sense? ding, light bulb come on. I see them going, oh yeah, this makes so much sense why they make me do that now. That's why they're asking you to remove late fees from your ledger so that opposing counsel doesn't argue that your late fees are price gouging or you're making a secret profit because you're making money off. Make sense? It's being heavily litigated right now.
But if it's built into if they pay it with the rent.
Hey, I'm not telling you don't collect your late fees. If they're paying you, put them in your pocket. But I wouldn't start an eviction because they owe you late fees, okay?
Yeah.
Yes,
I wanted to ask you about, just cause.
not just because you want to.
Well, yes.
That's how I remember.
I live in a upscale neighborhood of all single family homes. I've gotten 2 letters with bills that my house is a rental. And I have to prove that it's not a rental. And I don't know how, are they sending it to all single family homes?
Yes. Oh, is that the
They're chasing-
$37 one?
Yeah, they're chasing money.
How much you charge a late fee? 10% of your rent? How much is the late fee?
It's
on the forms, you have to
I know
say
that.
that it's not
But
incentive.
why are they sending it out?
You have to say that it's not a rental and that it's owner occupied and sign the form and return it to them.
Right, and just now, or not just now, but earlier this week or last week, we got a notice from sanitation that they want
50% increase.
the consent. I mean, how do you want to vote? Do you want to vote to raise it or do you want to vote not to? Well, I got 4 of them because they included my house that I live in and my 3 rentals. And I said no. And then what I did to save money, because Postal Service raised the I put all 3 of them, all 4 of them in the table, put 1 stamp and mailed them.
I did too.
Okay, she's asking me how much do I charge as a late fee? And somebody on the internet is asking me something else, so I'm just gonna show them this so they can see it. The fair market value amounts right here, right? Yeah, fair market value is right here. So you guys can see that and I'll try to hold it still. I'm showing them online, I'm sorry, on my phone right here. Everybody in the room's like, what are you doing? You got it, Sydney? Okay. Her question to me is how much can you charge as a late fee? It's a business decision. I gotta be very careful, I'm not giving you advice. It's a business decision. Fair housing looks at 6% or 7% as a late fee as being okay. I use 10%. It's a deterrent. I don't want them to pay the rent late.
When do you start charging late fee? Second already? Like it's supposed to do first, then you start charging. If they're not paid by.
It depends on what your lease contract says.
Yeah.
You have to
5
follow
days,
the written
10 days.
rules of your own rental contract. So it just depends. I don't have a grace period on my lease contract. My rent's due on the 1st, it's delinquent on the 2nd. If the 1st is on Saturday, when's the rent due?
Saturday.
Nope, when's the rent due?
Monday,
Yep, when's the delinquent?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. So Tuesday is the first time you can serve the notice.
So first is a Saturday, then it's not due till Monday.
First business day. If Monday's a holiday, it's not due till Tuesday and delinquent on Wednesday.
The 1st of January is a Saturday, then you.
It's a holiday.
So then the 3rd of
It depends on the day. I need to have a calendar in front of here to show you.
The 1st of August, a Saturday. It's not.
If 1st of August is a Saturday, then
Wednesday,
Sunday the 2nd, Monday the 3rd, rent's due. And Tuesday the 4th is the first time you can serve the pay rent or quit. Okay?
Okay, so if it's 4th on Saturday, Sunday, then it goes to next regular working hour, Monday to Friday time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Look at it this way. For the rent to be due or the tenant to have to pay, the bank has to be open. And Saturdays don't count. Even if your bank's open on a Saturday, it doesn't count.
So 1st is Saturday, then Monday is due day.
Yep, and Tuesday is delinquent. Correct. For those of you that have,
How much you charge for late fee? Is it, there's no.
it's a business decision.
Okay, there's no.
Fair housing recognizes 6 to 7%. I use 10. I'm ready to argue. Okay? You might not be.
What if they have more than one person capacity? They have some capacity, they have one more person living there.
Then that's be a violation of their written rental contract. And we're gonna talk about that notice in a minute. First, we're gonna talk about our reminder to pay rent. Your rent is past due. Everybody's like, Patty, what is this?
It goes on the door.
For those of you that can't serve a 3-day because you were under threshold amount, you want to use a reminder. And these are all forms that are on AGLA's website. So if you're under threshold amount and they owe rent, serve them a reminder notice. Oh, it's not a notice, it's just a reminder.
Let me see.
Your rent's due, thank you, in this amount. Nothing threatening, not a pay rent or quit. It's just a reminder notice, okay? It's an easy way for you to get their attention. Yes. Not everybody? I'm like, are you trying to get all of our attention? Okay, but then she didn't switch my slide before you called her away, so I'm gonna
Maybe
have
one
some
more
fun.
question.
Go ahead, ask the
There's a
question.
real estate broker who does only apartment transaction. There's real estate broker who only does commercial, like shopping mall. And commercial brokers, they like commercial property better than apartment. And apartment brokers says, I like apartment better. Why they say that?
I'm a real estate broker too. We all have a right to an opinion.
Yeah, but
Any question you have, you can call me, I'll answer everything. What you know, I know. So
Next,
let's finish that.
next slide. Next slide. You give me the next one and I'll run with you. Okay, we'll go with this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
A lot of people don't know this. It's costing you guys a lot of money and we're gonna talk about it, so get ready. This is your right to request an initial inspection, and I have the form here somewhere, just bear with me. I got it right here. Okay, everybody needs to pay attention to me right now, please, okay? If you don't do this, you can't deduct anything from their security deposit. Oh, do I have your attention now? Okay, good. The law says that you have to notify them of their right to have a pre-move out inspection, also known as an initial inspection. This is the inspection that you go to 2 weeks prior to them vacating, not the day before, not a week before, but 2 weeks prior to them vacating, okay? And you notify them of what they need to do to get their deposit back. The law says that we must leave that instructions in writing. So I always take a piece of paper and it starts like this. The property must be left in the same condition of which you received it in. The carpets must be professionally cleaned. All of your personal items must be removed from the premises. And then I start looking. The giant hole in the wall needs to be fixed. So this has to go, whatever it is. But you need to leave them those instructions of what they have to do to get their deposit back in writing. Part
Unless
of
they
the
got
pre-
on a plane to Italy.
I'm just talking to you about how you guys are losing cases. We're gonna talk about why you guys are losing your rent increase cases too. In fact, let me write that down really quick. Rent increase.
48 hours advance.
48 hours advance notice for a written move-in inspection. But what I'm trying to tell you guys and put in your head is if you don't have this paper showing that you offered the tenant the pre-move out inspection, you just lost your small claims case. Paying attention? One of the first things the judge asks you in small claims is, when did you notify the tenant of their right to an initial inspection? And if you don't pull out this piece of paper and show the judge, your case is dismissed, go home, you lost.
You have to show the proof of mail too.
It depends on the judge.
I think it's better to.
It depends on the judge.
What if the tenant's not available and they want to do it in a different, less than 14 days?
Look at it this way. I had one that called me yesterday and said, hey, Patty, they want to do the pre-move out inspection tomorrow and then their move out day is the next day. What are they going to fix in 24 hours? Are they going to have the carpets professionally cleaned and everything cleaned and they're all perfect and fix the hole in the wall and hang new block? No, they're not. So it's a waste of your time. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So I always put on this document, you must schedule this appointment no later than, and I give them a drop dead date. Okay, you must schedule this appointment no later than, and I make it 2 weeks prior to their move out date. Okay, we're going to talk about your inventory checklist because this is one of AGLA's forms. Mona and I have worked diligently, and Dan will be changing these soon, just so you're aware. We're going to add a third column, and it's going to go right here. Okay, and it's going to say initial inspection. So you have your move-in inspection, your initial inspection, and then your final. Okay? Everybody got that?
Moving inspection, initial.
Move-in, the initial or pre-move out, however you want to call it, and then the final. So there should be
Why
3
there's an initial in the middle?
because it's their pre-move out inspection, the initial inspection. Okay, so we are going to add that in the document so that you guys are aware. Very important that you have photographs. The law changed. You have to have move-in photos, move-out photos. You have to have photos after the work was done. Patty, how do I deal with all these photos? Pass the book, hit the easy button, tell your contractor that you need a picture of what it looked like when they got there and what it looked like when they left. Now you have both your photos, okay? You didn't have to do anything, so hit the easy button. Anybody have questions about the right to initial inspection? Somebody gives you a 30-day notice, they're vacating, you hand them that document, right? They give me a notice they're moving out, I give them a notice of their right to a pre-move out inspection. That's how I work that. There are times that you don't have to do a pre-move out inspection, and that would be abandonment, surrender, or eviction. So you will not have a pre-move out inspection if you're evicting them, if they abandon the property, or if they surrendered. What am I talking about? You go there to serve a notice, find the front door open and all their stuff gone. That's abandonment. You didn't know. How could you tell them that they needed to do that 2 weeks prior? Same thing with the surrender. And they show up and say, hey, the keys are on the counter. Okay, no pre-move out inspection required, even with an eviction. Did you have a question?
Yes, you answered most of it already. This is a new item. I didn't know about this, checklist notification. What did that have to do?
Hold on. That's part of California Civil Code 1950.5, and it's been in play for decades.
Really?
Absolutely.
If the landlord gives a lot of notice, like a 60-day notice.
Uh-huh. I also include the right to pre-move out inspection when I'm serving them with a notice of vacate.
Good, because I'm just afraid there would be a narrow window of time.
No. No. If you're terminating tenancy, you want to serve that with your notice to terminate. So they go in together. Any more questions? Yes.
For the original condition, like the tenant moved in and they said, we got an issue here and I only fixed it. So do I need to replace the checklist or what should I do this one?
No, you have a paid invoice from a vendor that says that you did that repair.
Okay.
Yeah. Your paid invoices, you guys, are golden. Don't get rid of them, okay? Don't get rid of them. Your paid invoice. So the tenant moved in and what was broken? Just help me out right now. The toilet was running. Okay, let's just go with that. Tenant moved in and you wrote on there, the toilet is running. Well, you called a plumber on your way home and they fixed it same day. You have in writing that that toilet wasn't working, but now you have an invoice that says it was corrected. That's what she's asking me. Yes.
Just in case, if you have a tenant, you approve them and moving in, you're going through the checklist and you notice they're going through the checklist, just everything's wrong. Can you then say,
okay, we're gonna play a game and I'm sorry to put Agla on blast, but let's do this. See this wall right here and everybody can come look at it later? You see this wall? That's cosmetic. That's not damage. This is scuff marks. Scuff marks, that's cosmetics. We don't document cosmetics. We document damage.
Is that why they say to leave the nail in the hole if they have on the paper?
That is my rule.
That's your rule?
You wanna know why? And I tell all my tenants this when you move in. When you move in, hang your pictures on the wall. Hang your picture, put it up there, hang your nail. When you move out, take your picture off, leave the nail on the wall.
That's what I.
That's wear and tear. If they pulled the nail out, they made a hole.
Right.
Now I can charge them to patch the hole. If they pulled the nail out and patched the hole, now I'm gonna charge them to paint the wall. If they pulled the nail out, patched the hole, and then patch painted with the same color, but they used flat over semi-gloss, I'm gonna charge them to paint the wall. But the nail in the wall is wear and tear. Everything else they do to that is damage. Good. Everybody got it? It's not up to me, it's up to a judge in a court of law, but I'm just giving you a guideline that helps make sense. Now, if they use that not as a picture, but as a dartboard, and there's a bazillion holes in the wall, that's damage. If they put little 5x8 pictures of their whole entire family all over the wall with nails, then that would be excessive. Excessive, damage, use those words, okay? They work well. Okay, where are we now? Plumbing, what are we doing? We're at a plumbing inspection. I didn't look at this document. It'll take me 30 seconds. Oh, this is when you're doing an inspection and you're going through, and I call this something else. Hold on. Preventative maintenance checklist. There you go. Same kind of thing. So preventative maintenance checklist is also a tool that AGLA has. helps you when you go to a property. It's a good excuse to get in, to do preventative maintenance. I always walk in with a preventative maintenance checklist and my 24-hour notice and tell them that I am looking for damages. It's also for plumbing and appliances. I have something that is, hi, everybody. I got some ADHD going on, and something's yelling at me in the back of my brain about something Dan said. And I wrote it down so I could talk to you guys about it. But he made mention of the cooling issues. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, it'll be 2028 and they'll make it all mandatory. How do I know that? Building and safety code. It can't be changed until January 1st, 2028. They'll change building and safety code January 1st, 2028, and then require all of us to put air conditioning in our units. You watch. Yes.
And was that apartments or house?
House. All residential dwellings. Not the apartments. Watch. There's lots of things in play, and they're doing all this stuff, but I know that they can't change the building and safety codes until January 1st, 2028. In the meantime, they're gonna throw whatever sticks on the wall to see what sticks on the wall. Make sense?
So to require the AC in all apartments and houses.
Most likely, they will change that in January 1st, 2028, so be prepared for it.
Apartments?
All residential dwellings within the state. Can tenants schedule the pre-move out before the 2 weeks, or does it has to be exact 14 days? They can do it prior to, you just don't want to do it the day before. And can you charge to paint the entire wall versus just the patch? I charge them to paint the entire wall. It's got to match. I mean, I don't want to live in a Fruit Loop house, do you? Meaning one wall's green, one wall's blue, one wall's purple. Maybe I should have called it Skittles.
If they've been there a long time, you don't charge that. You know, it's automatic wear and tear. If they've been long time.
That's a bad business practice.
Oh, you should charge, no matter how long they leave.
If they put a giant hole in the wall, they painted my walls black, I'm going to charge them to paint them back.
Right.
If they painted that room pink for their daughter and I have all boys moving in, I have to paint it back.
No matter how long they live there.
Modifications to the property without written consent of the landlord would be the legal term of what you just described. Okay. Any more questions regarding the initial inspection? Anything I missed? She gonna yell at me?
I don't know, do you want to do the performer quit?
I want to talk about performer quit is most important. You guys, I'm going to teach you something right now, okay? Anytime we have a breach of the lease, there's two documents we use. One's a 3-day pay rent or quit. The other one is a 3-day cure or quit, also known as a curable breach of covenant. One is property management slang and one is the legal terminology. 3-day curable breach of covenant would be the legal term and a cure or quit is slang, okay? It's what we use. So any other material breaches of the lease, unauthorized occupants, unauthorized pets, not paying the gardener, this is all on a cure or quit, okay? There's something, having too much trash, too much waste, being a pack rat, any of those things apply on a cure or quit notice. There's something you need to know about it. It's very important, okay? Everybody ready? If you serve a cure or quit notice to remove unauthorized occupants, you then have to serve a 24-hour notice to enter to show the judge and opposing counsel that you went back there and re-inspected. One of the things that they'll ask you in cross-examination and trial is, oh, so you served a cure or quit on this day. When did you go back in and see if they left?
2 days later.
Where's your proof of service?
In the trunk.
But you should have a notice to enter on that third day showing that you went there if you have to go inside. If it's an outdoor thing where they have too many cars and a bunch of trash in the yard, obviously you don't need a proof of service because you're not going in the house. But that is, I got you, baby. I'll come to you. That is how you prove to the court that you went back and re-inspected because they will ask you. Most cases in LA County require 3 to 5 curables before you serve the notice to quit, meaning you can't fix this. And I'm going to tell you right now, please don't serve a 3-day notice to quit yourself. Have the legal counsel that's going to represent you in court do it because they can only argue whatever is put on that notice. And I'm going to tell you right now, I worked in a law firm for those of you that don't know, and on a 3-day performer quit, on a 3-day to quit, I am attaching all of these curable breach of covenants with your 24-hour notices in one packet. So you guys don't have enough education to do that and build the case for the attorney, just hire them to do the quit notice, okay? I always tell people, it's over my pay grade, it should be over yours, okay? Don't try to figure that one out yourself. When it comes into the court, just so you understand, whatever you wrote on that notice to 3-day quit and whatever's attached to it, like all of those other curables, is the only thing the attorney can argue. So if you didn't attach those, they can't argue them. Now what do you do? Okay, so it's very, very important.
LA City is different. Yours is 30 days.
30 days, there you go. It's a 30-day performer quit
To occupants.
for additional occupants in
unauthorized
LA
pet.
City or an unauthorized pet.
Is the 30 day include weekend holiday?
Uh-huh.
Include weekend holiday, 30 days.
Yeah, it turns out to be more like a 45-day notice because you can't count weekends and
No
holidays.
holiday, no weekend.
Not in the expiration of a notice. Everybody got that. So everybody knows if you're gonna go into a property and serve them on a cure or quit for unauthorized occupants, you better have 24-hour notice to reinspect behind it. Otherwise, the likelihood of you being successful is slim and none.
Sometimes you have to go into emergency to open the door anytime for emergency, right?
If it's an emergency, if it's not an emergency, I hope you don't look good in orange.
If it's not emergency, you gotta
If
get.
it's not an emergency, you're going away in handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit.
What if you call and then let them know I'm gonna get in? Geez, that's you in trouble too.
Orange jumpsuit, handcuffs,
So you have to give 25 notice on the door before you go in.
unless it's an emergency.
So 25 can include the weekend too.
Emergency means you have the police out there. It's on fire or water's coming out the front door. That's an emergency.
Okay, what if I have like 25 notice to enter the dwelling? Does that include weekend too?
No, you can't enter on the weekend. You can only enter Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6
So if
p.m.
I serve the
Non-holiday.
Friday, if I serve the Friday, then you have to be Tuesday.
Me. Monday. Okay. I know. All right, I'm gonna talk to you guys about some things that we don't have notices on because you need to know about them. So, you guys keep using direct deposit at your bank account for your tenants to pay you. Stop it. It's murdering us. Stop using Zelle, stop using Venmo. Do you wanna know why?
They know your account number.
Screw that. You're standing in court and you're evicting them because they didn't pay you. And from the lobby in the courthouse, they're selling you $5. You just lost.
Who's on you?
The tenant, so they don't get evicted. They'll sell you $5 in the courtroom. Stop using Zelle. Stop using Venmo. It hurts you. It doesn't help you.
But even if you get
There is a way you can turn off your Zelle and your Venmo. You may not like it, but there is a way. Change your phone number and your email address with your bank. He's laughing. It makes sense.
I love it.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and no texting. Stop texting.
I have a rule. You can text whatever you want to your tenant, just don't hit send. You can email whatever you want to them, but don't hit send. It's my only rule. Don't hit send. Okay, everybody got that? We're going to talk about why you guys are all losing your rent increases, why all of your rent increases are illegal. There's a huge lawsuit going on right now and a big problem. And do you know that now when you say, I need to evict my tenant, what does your attorney ask you for? We need your last 5 rent increase notices. Does this sound familiar? We need your last 5. She's nodding her head. Yep, they want my last rent increase notices when I evict somebody now. Do you want to know why? They want to make sure you didn't have an illegal rent increase before you get in front of the judge. Patty, I wouldn't have an illegal rent increase. I'd never do that, right? How many of us serve a 30-day notice to do a rent increase? 30 days. How many of us serve that on the 30th of the month to take effect on the 1st of the following month? How many of us do that? We're not allowing 5 days for mailing, and therefore our rent increase is invalid. And every increase after that one from 2016 is invalid too. And now the tenant doesn't owe rent, I owe them.
But if you drop it off,
Personal service is the best way, but if you're only mailing it and not allowing 5 days for process, you lose. Your rent increase is illegal. It's a big issue right now, huge. That's why your attorneys are asking you for your last 5 rent increase notices or your last 10 rent increase notices with your eviction paperwork. You understand the why, you can combat the problem, right? Yes.
So August first, you sent them the notice to increase rent for September first.
No, October.
You want to give more than 30 days. My rule is 45 days.
Why more than 30 days?
Because you have
It's
to allow
5
5
days.
days for mailing. If you didn't allow 5 days for mailing, your notice is invalid, and every increase you did after that is also invalid. So if the one that you did in 2014 is invalid, then all of your rent increases for
You
the
owe them
past
money.
11 years
Then you owe
are
money.
invalid, and you owe them all that money back.
So you have to, when do you have to serve it? 6 days?
If you serve a 30-day notice, you want to allow 5 days for mailing. Be safe, just do 45 days. In your brain, give them 60 days.
So I was told that if you raise more than 10%, you gotta get 6 days. If you raise more than.
There's no such thing as a 60-day notice anymore. It's a 90-day
90-day.
notice now. That changed a year ago. There is no 60-day notice of rent increase. It is a 30-day for 10% or less. Anything over 10% requires 90 days.
Oh, 90 days, 3 months and 1 month, huh?
Correct. All right,
Other
other
3 months, include weekend too?
Oh, jeez.
The 1 month is also include.
No.
So it's got to be more than 3 months.
Okay, I'll answer any question you have. The other one that I want to talk to you guys out is you guys are asking me all the time, how come Basta's getting involved in my eviction trial?
How come what?
Basta. B-A-S-T-A. It means stop in Spanish, I think, right? Or halt. Anybody help me? Spanish? Basta. What's that mean? Stop? Enough? Enough. Okay, see, I was wrong. It means enough, okay? It is a tenant advocate group that helps fight. They are nonprofit. It's extortion. I don't know another way to explain it. The people in the behind you are going, yes, it is extortion. I don't know if you guys are aware, but an eviction in LA City costs you between $65,000 and $85,000 right now.
Why so expensive?
Let's play the game, okay? Let's play it. I'm on, okay? You ready? Let's try to stick with me.
Wanna try?
Okay, I file eviction. 95% of all eviction cases in the county are trial by jury. 95%. Okay, they're gonna ask for a jury trial. I can even tell you where they're gonna ask for a jury trial and how opposing counsel's gonna sub it. Isn't that disgusting? I figured it out. It's gonna take me 8 months to get to the mandatory settlement conference. Your rent's $2,500 a month. How much rent did you lose? Oh, 20 grand. I'll do the math for you, okay? You're 20 grand in, only at 8 months. Now they want 35,000 to get out. Okay? You're gonna pay them 35,000 to have them get out, right? Because you're done with this. You've been playing this game for 8 months. How much money have you spent with you? 8 months? 20 grand? How much money have you spent?
About 75.
Let's go.
It's that easy. We don't think about that. If you guys are whipping out your credit card to pay for an eviction, please stop. Pull out a HELOC instead. Yes.
It's smart enough to put a $500 cap on attorney's fees and you have an attorney who's ready to go to trial on day one. Does that change anything at all?
Potentially, but it's really hard to get an attorney that's ready to go on day one because they're so overloaded with all the cases that we're all dealing with, and we'll all agree
Let
with
me
that.
ask you, if you go with the jury trial, it costs a lot of money for us.
We don't have control over that. It's their civil right to have a trial by jury.
It will cost a lot of money for our side. But
The tenants have more rights than the landlords.
I know, but.
Do you know why tenants have more rights than landlords? Anybody in here know why?
This is more than in the state.
The state of California was 78% tenant occupied in 2018 before we opened our borders.
Yeah.
Has anybody went out to sea lately? I'm sorry, I'm a deep sea fisherman. Went out to sea lately, okay? Yeah, right. Get about a mile offshore, turn around and look in and go, my God, where did all the trees go? Because all you can see from a mile offshore is rooftops after rooftops after rooftops. And if you go down to Redondo Beach, and I'm just saying because I did this yesterday, and I went on the south side of the pier where you're not supposed to go in the water because it's kind of yucky over there, but whatever. I went over and put my feet in the sand and turned back and looked at Palos Verdes and went, my God, you used to not be able to see the houses through the trees. And now you can't see the trees through the houses. I can make out where the road goes up there. You couldn't do that 20 years ago. Being inundated. And I think a great example was the Pacific Palisades fire. Do you guys remember the photo of all those cars all lined up that were burned? Do you know why all those cars were lined up? It was the only way out of the neighborhood.
One way in, one way, like, going.
And
up
it's
there
so
back to-
populated up there, they couldn't all get out. People ran with their babies to the ocean. We gotta be careful. So hold on and I'll get to you. Let's get back to tenant advocate groups and what they're doing and how much evictions are costing us. How are these tenants getting in contact with these tenant advocate groups? Let me tell you something. They're advertising all over the place. They're free. It's nonprofit. We'll come help you. We'll save you. Blah, blah, blah. How did they get paid?
Oh, by you losing the lawsuit.
How's that one? Subsidy. Taxpayer.
Okay, they get income from that, but where else did they get income?
Us.
A percentage of the settlement?
Oh, there you go. Hold on. Wait a minute. What'd you say? They get part of the tenant's settlement? You mean if I pay my tenant $35,000, they're gonna take 33 1/3% of that money from the tenant and put it in their pocket? That's why they ask you for more relocation money. They get 1/3 of it. Does that make sense now? How is Basta finding these tenants? I'll tell you. You're not gonna like it, but I'll tell you. And you might want to point this out to your legal counsel if it happens to you next time in court. Point it out to them. It's up to them to argue them. I can't tell them what to do. Okay? Here's my thing. When you see an answer, and everybody picture an answer with me, we're just looking at the very first page of an answer. Okay? Up here in the top left-hand corner, it gives you all the tenants' information, their name, their address, and then there's a box right under that that says pro per or attorney. Pro per means they don't have an attorney, and if it's checked with an attorney, the attorney's address will be there. If it says pro per, meaning they don't have any legal counsel, and the address isn't your tenant's address, but it's Basta's address, that's how they found out. So these tenant advocate groups are teaching tenants how to fill out an answer form, and they're pre-filling in their address. That way they get notified once there's a trial date, they can sub in on the case.
Sneaky.
Oh, right?
God, California is so corrupt. Yes.
I have something else. There's a whole group of what I have determined to call the gimmies. Okay? They come in all shapes and sizes, so you can't say that it's a racial thing or this thing, but it's just the gimmies. Gimme this, gimme. That's what needs to stop. That's the problem, is the gimmies. I've had enough of gimme. I'm gonna give you a broken leg is what I'm gonna give you. Come here and let me gimme you. I'll gimme you. Do we have other notices that you really want me to go over?
Nope.
Pre-move out inspection. Everybody got that. That is a huge problem for this area. Yes, Chris.
If we get August 1st, we're gonna have to be doing a right to counsel notice with our notices.
It's not August yet.
Okay, but it's
Okay, so what
2
did you
days
say?
away.
Starting August 1st, there's going to be a new document. AGLA will have that up there. We're going to have to notify tenants of their right to have free legal counsel.
Well, it's on the renter protection anyway.
And then may be able to clue that for LA City, but other cities may now be requiring that we notify tenants of what their legal rights are.
In general, or only if we're gonna serve?
Only if we're evicting, I
I have a
believe.
question. You told me 95% will go to jury trial for eviction process.
In LA County, yes.
When you said to me, my causes a major issue. If you go jury trial, first that costs a lot for landlords to take.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Nothing's free. Welcome to the industry.
No, this is ridiculous. If you go to jury trial, you know how much it costs. When you and I have a car accident, you have farmers, I have State Farm. You should State Farm farmer 30 days.
A jury trial is your right as an American.
No, what I'm saying is like you and I had a car accident, you're insured State Farm, mine's a farmers. The two attorney, they dispute, they do arbitration, so cut down the cost of court and they can settle it. But if you go to jury trial, that's a lot of money, like O.J. Simpson case, And
That's what the tenant's trying to do, honey, is cost you a lot of money.
make you headache.
You can ask her after the seminar.
And also one more question. Apartments are, there are people out there for poor people, so landlord.
No,
Landlord pays everything.
no, that's a stereotype. Apartments aren't for poor people. No.
Commercial building, we charge everything to tenant.
Okay.
We're not
That's a
gonna talk
triple
about
net
commercial.
lease.
We're only
Yeah.
gonna talk about residential, please.
Anybody have any other questions for me regarding notices? Yes.
Can you explain again about when you give a notice to cure about using the fee? You mentioned something about the first notice not getting the meeting notice. You said you wanted to.
A warning. A warning. Hang on.
You said how many?
Hang on. No. If you're doing a cure or quit, let me give you an example, okay, of what I mean when I said that. You're gonna call your attorney and you're gonna say, hey, they got unauthorized occupants in my property. How many curables do I need to have before I do the quit? That is based on area. Like, I know attorneys in LA, they want 3 to 5 curables before you do the quit. Here's a problem with that, okay, and keep this in mind. When you serve the first curable, you're not accepting rent anymore. If you're having to do a 30-day curable instead of a 3-day curable, and they want 5 of them before they're gonna file the quit to evict, you're 5 months into this with no rent money. So it just depends on the jurisdiction. Some jurisdictions, Riverside County, 1 and done. 1 curable, the quit comes out, in Riverside County, San Bernardino County, it goes like this: 3-day cure quit, 24-hour notice to enter, 3-day quit. Bye-bye.
What does it mean by cure?
Means you have the opportunity to fix this. You have unauthorized occupants. You can cure this by getting rid of the unauthorized occupants. That's how you cure it.
How do you get rid of
The
them?
problem. Shoot them, it's quicker.
Well, you didn't look at doors then.
I didn't pull the trigger.
On-site manager, how can you prove that they're living there? Like, how long can you? It could just be a couple of the weekend that they spend.
An on-site manager,
If you're not an on-site.
you have to track, you have to chase them, and it's garbage. Like, let me ask you a question. How many days can they have a guest? 14, 7? Change your thing to 3. Because you know why? It's easier for us to catch them in 3 days than it is in 14. Because we can't keep watching. Were they there this night? Were they there? It's ridiculous. So change it to 3 days.
So you're literally a watchdog, just
Change it to 3 days.
Okay.
Unauthorized occupant, guests may not stay longer than 3 days without written consent from the owner. 3 days. It's much easier to catch the breach.
Okay.
I'll get to you in a minute.
Give
Hang on.
everybody a chance.
It'll be much easier for you to catch them. If you have 14 days that they can stay there, it's a nightmare for us, because if they leave one and go to the bar and hang out all night, then they're not there 14 consecutive days. Now that starts over. So change your contract to read 3 days and you don't have to work so hard. Make sense? Okay, you had a question. Yes.
Can you use camera footage?
What?
Camera footage.
Thank you for using that word. Thank you for using that word. That would be used as evidence. When you're dealing with cameras, you guys, please, for the love of God, don't use the word security. Use the word surveillance. Okay? If you say that you have security cameras on the property, you are telling that tenant that somebody's watching those cameras 24/7 and will call law enforcement as incidents happen. We don't do that. So don't use the word security. It'll get you in a lot of trouble. A lot of lawsuits are stemmed around that. It is surveillance. It's only surveying the area. Also, other tenants can have ring cameras and such, and it causes you another problem, because they could be using those cameras to spy on other tenants in the building and commit other oddities. So I use my tenants' cameras are unauthorized modifications to the property without written consent of the landlord, and I don't allow it.
I do see my tenant has camera inside the unit.
What they do inside their unit is none of my business, but if it's pointed outside the door, that's a problem.
What if I put the camera outside my unit? Do I have to notify tenants that we have camera there? You don't have to.
But if you put it outside their window and it's looking in their door, you're gonna go to jail for spying on them.
Outside, when they're driving and out, that's okay.
Yeah, but don't have it going in their bathroom window.
No.
You'll be wearing an orange jumper.
Okay, Patty, I need to.
Hang on, I got another question, yeah.
Ask you about the photographs when you're renting an apartment. I can't get my camera to put the date on it. Can I put a sign in each room with the date on it and take a picture of it?
Do you have a smartphone, Judy?
Yeah.
Use your smartphone. They're all basic.
Oh,
Yeah.
For that app, I've seen.
And there's an app called Timestamp. If you download that app, it'll timestamp the date and the time right on each photo.
And the address,
Timestamp.
and the address.
And the address. Yes. Chris is yelling, and the location. Okay, I just have a question. How many people in here are Widgets Way members? Can I see your hands?
Everyone say that one more time.
Okay, Widgets Way members. Hi, my name is Patti Widget. I teach Widgets Way. I weekly consulting firm. Just want to make sure all my Widgets Way members get to talk to each other because it's kind of nice when you guys all get to meet. If you go to widgetsway.com, what you did today, I do every week online. That's what's happening right now on Zoom, is we have a meeting going on and all these people are learning what you learn. But it's an open format like this where you can call in, sit through a Zoom meeting, ask me questions and things of that nature. Yes. Widgetsway.com.
Yeah.
It's invaluable.
Patty, can I ask you a question? What if you
Yep, I got a
put a
question
camera?
coming, so hang on. What you got, baby?
What if you put a camera by the pool just to say you want to make sure that there's safety in the pool?
Nah, don't use the word safety. Just say you have a surveillance camera by the pool. That is all.
Oh, okay, but can you put it or no? That's what my
You
question.
can tell them that you have a surveillance camera. It's not a requirement.
No, I don't have it. I want to put it. That's what I'm
Then they
asking.
call it a surveillance camera and just put it out by the pool.
Oh, okay, thanks.
As long as you're not watching people in their bikinis, you should be good. Sorry.
No, I'm not interested in that.
Hey, this industry can be pretty frustrating and it can be pretty depressing when we don't get our way. So I try to find the humor in it. Forgive me. All right. Anybody else have anything? Nothing.
Where do you join the Widgets Way? I'm on the website.
Go to membership. Become a member. Anybody else?
We update the forms.
As often as we need to.
Also the
legislative
also the
office on the
report
written at the
and-
bottom, right here, when it's revised by,
So you should get the most up to date.
Absolutely.
go online, get any community.
And it shows you right here when they last revised it. So if you're pulling documents out of a file, because I did this for decades, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna use this notice, you may be using garbage at hello.
Okay.
You need to print it off the website every time because it was last week when we got the new law about adding the dates.
Also that they put the PO box number they lost at the courthouse. So they recommend to put a post annex address where the people stand.
That has to do with the 3-day pay rent or quit.
Yes.
And they need a person they can hand their rent check to. You can't put a post office box on a pay
No
rent
more
or
PO
quit.
box. It has to be a post annex, like where people standing there.
Just have them come give you the rent.
What do you mean?
Put your address on there. Have them come give the rent to you.
Sometimes people don't want to give their personal address to tenant. They don't want to give their personal address to tenant. So they buy a post box over a post annex. Is that okay?
You can run, but you can't hide, honey. Who owns title is public record, and we all know where you live.
Well, I have a PO box for text assessing, text mailing is PO box.
You can run, but you can't hide. Not with today's internet and what it's able to do. You can run, but you can't hide. So
you
stop
should
trying
put
to hide. Just face it head on.
Track you.
I want your rent.
What if I put?
Come to me. I don't understand what the problem is. If you do good business and act ethically, you shouldn't be afraid of them knowing where you live.
You cannot put PO box.
Have a post annex?
No, you can't put a PO box on anything.
Return document with their label on. PO, no PO box.
Have a PO. What about post annex?
PO box.
Post annex.
Same thing, just do not put PO box.
So the home
Physical.
home address.
Doesn't matter, physical address.
Or even PO box with physical address there.
Please take
No,
note.
it needs to be a.
No, that's the cursor. That's the mouth.
Got it.
Thank you.
Office.
I'm gonna answer your question, sir, but I'm gonna lean on Mona, and right now she's busy trying to.
They have that form with your amounts on it.
They have the form with the amounts on it.
If you want your rent.
God, I love my team. See what I mean? If I can't answer the question, somebody on my right can. So Agla has the most for security deposit interest payments that you can serve with it.
But there's no specific form to fill out. I just write a letter and I just, either take it
Yeah, I
off.
didn't think there was more.
There's not a form, there's just a form that tells
So
you what the annual
what we're talking
is.
about is the annual security deposit interest that has to be paid back to tenants under large SO. Currently, doesn't have to happen under DCBA or LAHD, but wait for the wind to blow and that'll change, okay? But you do have to give a percentage back in interest on their security.
You can do it, and they suggest in December. 4.32%.
4.32% right now? Yeah.
4.32.
But if you want to write, you have to do that.
Yes.
Your choice, sir. Sir, you all can go. I have to live there for 12 months. You don't pay the first 2 weeks, and I'm not even saying, I want to write it down. You want me to write it down?
So today I walked in, I pulled up the document, I was like, so we'll send this. Like, no, it's like, oh, okay, fix it. It's like, so guys, we're adding new phone.
And for, returning them their deposit, it's just much like, for everybody, but.
You're doing a good job.
I think you put my
It's
face
possible
back
to
to
make
you. Give a lot.
December and then say happy holidays. Doesn't have to be.
I'm vacation board. Take
Yeah, it's
receipt for that. Right away.
Just say, you know, it's a picture of it. I gave them a gift card for receipt of TV on Friday. I make sure that my mom. Thank you, Steve. Right? Sorry, not to take over again. Okay, LARSO requires you to pay interest to your tenant annually on their security deposit.
No, just say.
You're right. Just have to go people about rough. Years ago. I've said it place.
So that's Larsa.
Larsa. LARSO.
And the tenants.
Thank you.
I need separate, upper garage, one for parking.
You do a commercial lease for the parking?
The ag.
Good answer.
So,
So if you get why that is, if it's commercial, then it's residential standards, it's septic. That's why.
yes, now this has never happened, but the tenant was storing everything in the garage. And they really got to a problem with stealing.
Hot atmosphere.
Yes. So I did her the 3 days notice. Former quit in the garage. He just, I thought she just moved. So she did. I've never had anybody. It was clear violation. It's for parking.
Then you need to attack with a curable breach of covenant. And LA City requires a 30-day cure or quit on a material breach of the lease.
Yeah.
With a 30-day cure or quit to remove the items from the garage. It's not for storage, it's for.
And then she decided that, and then it goes.
I'd be contacting my legal firm and asking them how many curables I need in place before I can do a quit.
Oh.
If you're in the debt scope. Either that, or in all fairness, I'm gonna tell you guys this real quick, pay attention. Stop running to go do an eviction. It is costing you an arm, a leg, and a head. You're much better off if you don't damage the relationship and you call an attorney like Sasha Struthers, that's special, she's a member here of AGLA, she's on the board, I believe. Sasha Struthers. Let me tell you something about her real quick, okay? She's an attorney. She doesn't do evictions because she knows the system's broken. What? She does cash bookies. I'm all for it. If you guys can get them out and pay them to go away and avoid the legal system, do it. The legal system's broken. No joke. It is not fair. Yes. Especially if an eviction is going to cost you how much money, sir? $75.
I wrote 65.
Wow.
You need to put your phone on silent, you can talk to your please.
We don't look good in orange. We don't look good in orange. I have to tell myself that several times a day. I just don't look good in orange.
Okay. You need to put your phone in silent, please.
All right, I hope my web peeps are done. Hi, everybody.
On the, like red paper, there's that back page that has all those lines that you can add things to it, like no this, no that, no smoking, all that sort of stuff. So I could put in there, the garage was to be used for cars only.
No storage.
No storage.
Yeah, physical.
Cars only?
Yeah.
Anybody that, okay.
It could be Hawaii. Yes. Physical.
And I was serious about it.
Girl, I've been doing this for over 30 years. You got stories, I got stories, okay? I went, my people are still online. I went to a property one day, I'm gonna tell you guys, it's pretty funny. And I went bebopping in, okay? And I was gonna take control of the situation, because all my property managers were like, no, Patty, you gotta take your carts with you, it's scary out there. It's scary, they're not okay, you can't, I'm like, no, I'll go out there by myself, okay? So I go out there and I start talking to them, and they have a bunch of lowrider cars, like the old school lowrider cars, and that don't bother me at all one bit. So I'm like loving it, and one of them is being funny, and he reaches over and hip checks me into the trunk of the car and shuts the trunk of the car. What they didn't realize is I had my pistol and my cell phone, and they were in trouble. Like, hey, you guys might want to let me out before I call for backup. Can I ask you something?
Yeah, you know, all my hours they have notices from the city saying that they will have a inspection. And so lots of people around me are aware about we have to display some permanent notices from the city government to be displayed for the tenants to know. Yeah, we don't know exactly what kind of notices from the city.
Notice to enter.
Permanent.
Notice to enter. It's a notice to enter for them to come in and do their city inspection. When you're posting this on the property, because you have to post this on the property, tape it on there, take a picture. That's it. I know, but the tenant's gonna tear it down. The mailman could tear it down. Anybody could tear it down.
I don't know what kind of notices we have to display on the wall.
What city are you in?
Los Angeles.
City of LA? This one. LAHD?
And then ours.
Los Angeles Renter Protection Act? Your certificate has to be displayed?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so they need this, both sides. Both sides, and then this.
Display where you have to put it on the side of your building.
With you have to post it in a public place. In a conspicuous place. They're gonna tear off, so you just take a picture.
Or make photos.
What if I gave a 60-day notice of rent increase? Sydney, there is no such thing as a 60-day notice of rent increase. It changed January 1st of 2024. It is a 30-day notice if it's less than 10%, a 90-day if it's over 10%. For Section 8, do we also need a 30-day to perform if that exists? Yes, Melanie, absolutely. Anything that is federally funded falls under the CARES Act and requires 30-day notice, not 3-day.
Hey Patty, I got a good question.
Yep. Hey, I got questions all day long. I've got questions.
Thank you.
No problem, thank you. I hope you guys learned something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. On those rental notices, right?
you have my contact information or anything?
Just look me up on widgetsway.com.
Appreciate it.
You're right, buddy. Okay. Not gonna need you to hire. Work with a lot of ones. I
Like to get their house.
But I want, that's what one, I want them.
If you're over five, yeah. Your house and you allowed to do that.
That's why I have to say, worse is worse than standing.
Yeah, I don't have these laws.
On what they're willing to argue. Doesn't mean that's not willing to argue that. Doesn't mean somebody else is willing to argue that. That's why I encourage you to deal with your attorney, you know, the same one, because they're the one that's first, not me. And you, so you put it all with the notice too. I will ask you one question time. Everything is in confidence. Everything you chose to do is going to be an argument. If you choose to do business in LLC. You posted it there, take a picture. Then I'm gonna say, I never saw it posted on the property. Right, but remember how I said with all these notices? So that all the notices.
With the 3 day on.
Because then they can't say that it.
Just pushing them to go to legal counsel, pre-attorney.
Right, so I'm gonna.
Being very,
I'm
very
gonna
convenient.
teach how to avoid it. I teach you how to manage your property, not go run to sign up for the next eviction. I teach you how to stay out of court. You can go talk to your tenant, buy negotiate them. Unfortunately, you're unable to pay the rent. I know it's a difficult time for you. If I gave you $10,000,
Question.
did I just break the law? See how that works? They have 45 days to renege. Right. Right? But I didn't break the law.
That's what we're gonna do.
I take a different path. We've been here for 20 years, doesn't work.
You have to remember, it's only LA County, I mean, LA City.
LA City.
City. Forget Torrance. Because like she's.
LA City is not what your money. They just flag like. That's why I say LARSO and not city of LA. Because it's spread like cancer. It is in Sherman Oaks. It is in Torrance. It is in San Pedro. And somebody help me out. It is in Santa Monica. LARSO is Chris.
So they want to redistrict too.
Yeah. Your offers me. Oh, did you see the new notice form? It came out last week. It's because we lost a lawsuit. You now have to put the date the notice was served to the tenant, the date the notice expires.
Okay, this is for.
That's the 3 days.
Okay, LARSOs. If it's under JSEO, this does not apply, does it?
State of California, sir.
Okay, state of California. Okay. So I have to put the date when it expires.
It needs new verbiage. You need a new notice.
Yeah.
Because now you have to say when the notice expires, when it was served to them. And I got a very dumb question. How do you know when the notice is served to them?
Yeah. What do we do?
It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. Because somebody argued. That's,
Good point. What I do?
that's why I tell you, serve it on the same day you write it. If you write this at 8 a.m. in the morning, you better serve it by 11:59 that night.
Right.
From downstairs. Just do it all on the same day.
It's on the same.
That's how they're getting in trouble.
So they say when you serve anything, no PO box.
No PO box.
Even I go post that next door, the percentage is.
Do you know that I could type Google in your name and find out where you live and how many properties you own
When
and
it was
every
old, and how
much you bought it for?
and even LLC. All of them. So, I was told that when you create an LLC to protect you. A lot of people don't follow the regulations, so you lose and you're trying to.
Now you're understanding what's happening out
Just
there.
having LLC does not protect the applicant.
My property is in the city of LA. Do I need to know that, no,
Where are you at?
South Pasadena? We're our own city and,
No, you're not your own. Hang on.
What about Gardena?
no, we are. You guys
Gardena,
have bought it.
you're incorporated.
I'm okay.
You're incorporated.
90247.
South
I lived on
Pasadena.
132nd and Budlong for 30 years.
No, South Pasadena,
135.
they're not under, they're not under any of the rules. You guys have bought it for us. So we bought on getting rent control and all. So I don't have any of those laws at the city of LA.
And it's a single family home.
Have a duplex, a fourplex.
So you're under state law.
Yeah.
AB 1482.
Okay, but, and then I have property in San Luis Obispo. Was there anything there I should?
There's nothing going on there. My grandson lives in Santa Barbara, so I practice from Santa Barbara all the way to San Diego.
But Santa Barbara apparently has done,
They're putting in anti-harassment. Oxnard just put in an anti-harassment ordinance.
some other rent control,
Honey, it's spreading like
know.
cancer.
but only half, yeah, because my friend's a real estate agent.
Do you have a car?
All right, thank you, Patty.
Oh, no problem. I don't have my business card. I'm gonna end the webinar, you guys. Bye.